Hare Krishna everybody. So welcome to our Bhagavad Gita discussion today. So today we will be continuing from our discussion from the sixth chapter. So Kausav someone will share the Bhagavad Gita so that we can resume from there. So before we start, we will have one small Kirtan and then we will continue our discussion today. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Vihari Gopijana Vallabha Giri Varadhari Yashodanandana Thank you everyone. So today we are going to continue from where we left off last time. So today we are going to see from the sixth chapter of Bhagavad Gita, and this will be about mind control and discipline. So this is going to be a bit practical and philosophical obviously, but at the same time very practical for our day-to-day life. So we have been thinking that we want discipline, we want integrity, we want satisfaction, because we make New Year resolutions and we want to abide by them. So that's our goal because we make plans so that we can make our life better, so that we can be happy. So that is the ultimate goal of making plans. But we see that often things don't go that way because sometimes we make plans, something external happens or something internal happens. We lose that enthusiasm. So what's the reason and what can we do so that we can stay on track? So what's coming in our way? So that's what we're going to see today and many more things. So let's first go through our Bhagavad Gita and then let's see what comes our way. So let's start. So it's possible we can maybe share some Gitas from there. Sure thing, yeah. 6.3. Alright.
I see Thomas. We can share online.
You are in the group?
WhatsApp group? You are in a WhatsApp group of ISKCON W?
Yeah.
Then we will share it. 6.2.
Yes, Mataji has shared.
Yeah. It's a WhatsApp. Yeah.
You share this if you want.
Yes. 6.3.
So, before we start, we'll offer some prayers and then we'll start with the 6.3 verse. Om Jnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupagatamayam Dadati Sopadantikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shri Yuta Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Sagarajatam Sahagana Raghunathanvitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakan Vitamsha He Krishna Karuna Sindhu Deenabandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namastate Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Shri Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Satyadevi Pranamami Hari Priye Vancha Kalpatarubhesha Kripa Sindhu Vyaevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Srivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namo Vishnupadaya Krishna Preshnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswate Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvichesha Sunyavadi Paschatya Deshatarine. Alright, so we'll start with reading the verses and we'll just go through them and then we'll start with the detailed discussions. So the 6.3 verse goes Arurukshor Muneryogam Karma Karanam Uchyate Yoga Rudyas Tasyeva Samakaranam Uchyate. And translation goes, for one who is a neophyte in the Eightfold Yoga system, work is said to be the means. And for one who is already elevated in yoga, cessation of all material activities is said to be the means. And the purport goes, as the process of linking oneself with the Supreme is called as yoga. It may be compared to a ladder for attaining the topmost spiritual realization. This ladder begins from the lowest material condition of the living entity and rises up to perfect self-realization in pure spiritual life. According to various elevations, different parts of the ladder are known by different names. But all in all, the complete ladder is called as yoga. And may be divided into three parts, namely Jnana Yoga, Dhyana Yoga, and Bhakti Yoga. The beginning of the ladder is called as Yoga Ruruksu stage, and the highest rung is called Yoga Buddha. Concerning the Eightfold Yoga system, attempts in the beginning to enter into meditation through regulative principles of life and practice of different sitting posture, which are more or less bodily exercises, are considered fruitive material activities. All such activities lead to achieving perfect mental equilibrium to control the senses. When one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, he ceases all disturbing mental activities. We are going to come back to this. A Krishna conscious person, however, is situated from the beginning on the platform of meditation because he always thinks of Krishna. And being constantly engaged in the service of Krishna, he is considered to have ceased all material activities. So, it's a good thing to know here. I'll just take the next verse as well and we'll discuss too, and the last verse will come up ahead. So, यदा हि नेन्द्रियार्थेषु न कामस्वानुसज्जते सर्वसंकल्पसन्न्यासी योगारुद्धस्तदुच्यते. A person is said to be elevated in yoga when having renounced all material desires. He neither acts for sense gratification nor engages in fruitive activities. When a person is fully engaged in a transcendental loving service of the Lord, he is pleased in himself, and thus he is no longer engaged in sense gratification or fruitive activities. Otherwise, one must be engaged in sense gratification, since one cannot live without engagement. Without Krishna consciousness, one must be always seeking self-centered or extended selfish activities. But a Krishna conscious person can do everything for the satisfaction of Krishna and thereby be perfectly detached from sense gratification. One who has no such realization must mechanically try to escape material desires before being elevated to the top rung of the yoga ladder. Alright. So, sounds interesting. So, what is basically Krishna saying here? So, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna. So, we have been hearing that it's a common saying in India, most probably, that if someone is going to follow spirituality, that means most probably he has to leave all his houses and everything, and he has to, accept a renounced order of life. Chodo Garbar, Cholo Haridwar. This is what we say in Hindi. So it's a misconception that if you want to follow a spiritual life, you have to be detached or you need to cut off from the social life. This is what technically or typically people think throughout the world, although it's a misconception. So what actually Krishna is saying here, or we can read from Bhagavad Gita. He is saying, yes, there is a stage where one can renounce the activities. That the social life and all these things are not that much required or whatever. So, which call it as retired life, or maybe when we are so much advanced. But that is an advanced stage. We don't need to cut off ourselves from the rest of the world in order to practice spirituality. And we are also going to see what is the need of spirituality in our life. We can say, okay, you are speaking about spirituality. But let us first understand what's the need of spirituality at the first point. We can ask that my life is going good, I'm having a good job, I'm having a good family, I'm having a good house, then why should I practice spirituality? That will be the first question which we will have. And the answer is quite obvious. We are studying in school so that we can get good grades, and we are getting good grades so that we can go to a good college, so that we get an employment with a good employer, maybe Google or Microsoft or something, and so that we can get good income, and with a good income probably I can be happy, I can fulfill all my desires and I can be happy. So at the end our goal is money, so that through money we can fulfill our desires, so that we will be happy. So the goal is to be happy ultimately. So if someone is going to say, I'm going to give you $1 billion every year, I'm not going to work, it's obvious. So, because all my things are going to get fulfilled. So, ultimately, our goal is to be happy. So, if the goal is to be happy, let's try to understand what is spirituality giving me, due to which I need to pursue. Obviously, there is a question that if I have to do something, there should be something out of it. If there is nothing I'm going to gain, why would I do it? So, when we explore or when we analyze what spirituality has for anyone, then we will come to understand that, as we read in the purport of 6.3, it said that when one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, He ceases all disturbing mental activities. In today's life, we can see throughout the world. I don't need to say. We see depression, we see anxiety, we see panic attacks, we see confusion, low self-esteem, and the list goes on. So, and all of these probably, if I have friends who had these problems. From outside, they'll be like very happy, shaking hands and very happy. But internally, the turmoil which is going on, that is what actually everybody wants to get rid of, because nobody can be happy when the mind is, there's a turmoil going on in our head. So, for that process, here we can see clearly that the answer or the solution which we are finding, when the mind is very depressed, when we are thinking life is not going good, I'm not, maybe I'm not enough, or many more questions. So at that point, we often think that I need a solution. Life is not going good, and I'm able to see my mind is not happy, and due to which I'm not able to sleep at night and whatever. So that is when people try to find an answer. That what is the purpose of life? That is when the question comes, and that is when usually people turn to spirituality and meditation. Thank you. So in that stage, we can understand that what has spirituality or meditation having, that every person turns to spirituality and meditation during the time of crisis. If, by the way, if I'm going too quick, please inform me. I sometimes get lost in the speed. So, yeah.
I had questions in between as well, but like you can finish and then we can have it. It's a discussion, right?
Yeah, of course.
It's just like,
yeah, it's a discussion. Yeah.
I see.
So we can see that. We can see in the purport that when one is accomplished in the practice of meditation, then automatically what happens? All the disturbing mental activities come to a halt. So this is the main reason why people become interested in spirituality. So when we start spirituality or meditation, what happens automatically? It is basically the process of controlling the mind, as we can see. So when we start our journey of spirituality, we start with controlling our mind, or we can say disciplining our mind. So when we start to discipline our mind, automatically the thoughts which creates panic attack, anxiety, depression, low self-esteem, and many more things which haunt us day and night, automatically they come to a halt. And when they come to a halt, as we know, when the storm was there, we couldn't go out today morning. And when it is out, when it is calm, we are able to go out and do all the things. So in the same way, when the storm in the mind stops, automatically we'll be able to have clarity. Okay, what should I do? What is the purpose of life? Where I am? And how to solve the problems. So that is the reason we first need to have a calm mind. When we have a calm mind, we can do perfect decisions. And when we can do perfect decisions, we'll be able to solve the problems and we can have peace of mind or satisfaction in life. So that is the main purpose what spirituality gives. And this is the beginning. Spirituality, as we can say, our goal of spirituality is not just peace of mind. Peace of mind is a byproduct of spirituality. When we do spirituality, spiritual progress and all these things, peace of mind comes on its way. Just like, if you are going from, what we can say, from Dublin to probably Galway, then Athlon and all those things come in our way. So in the same way, when we are doing spiritual practice, then automatically peace of mind by default comes. We are going to see what all we get by doing spirituality. So this is the benefit of practicing spirituality and meditation. It first of all calms our mind, which solves the majority of the problems. So yes, any questions you have?
Yeah, I have one, right? So I don't know. I just it just came to me when you said we do things for them to be in a certain way, and you expect, so you do something to get something. That's what you said.
Mm-hmm.
But then when you do something to get something, there is a thing called as expectation, right?
Mm-hmm.
So then when you do something for something, you have expectations, then it links back to the loop of being like, what if it doesn't go what you think? Right?
Yeah.
So what if you become spiritual, right?
Mm-hmm.
You do things, you train your mind and it doesn't go your way because there is an element of uncertainty in everything. Right? Then what? Then you're still gonna have, like, I'm not just arguing anything.
Yeah.
It just came to my mind.
Yeah.
But the point is, why is there an element of expectation?
Mm-hmm.
And then you said like we do it for money and then for job or something, but not like people would have different content of achieving things. So for you it would be money, for me it would be self-realization or like santushti at the end of the day, right?
Yeah.
It depends on person to person, so it's relative.
Mm-hmm.
Then it means that meditation is relative, because if something works for you, doesn't mean that it would work for me. Or maybe, like, it depends, right? So there would be different ways. So why a certain thing? That's my question.
Yeah, thank you so much. So when we had been through kind of second chapter 49th verse or 47th verse where Krishna says Karmani Vadikaraste Ma Phalechu Karasha. That Krishna says that you do your duty, you have the right to do your duty, but not at the you don't have the right for the result of the actions, because you never know, as we never know. I studied for the exam, I gave 8 hours and I got 70%, and my friend studied 2 hours, he got 80%. Well, how did that happen? I don't know. So in the same way, when we have expectation, we never know how the things would go. But the main thing is, when we practice spirituality, many people will come with certain expectations, that's for sure. I might, like when we go ahead in Bhagavad Gita, we will see more who all get attracted to spirituality. But main thing is, people will have different perspectives to life. But as we see here, when we practice, when we start meditation and spirituality, what happens? First of all, the mind gets calm. And what happens? These unfair expectations and all these things which we have, all this baggage which our mind has, that if this is there, then I will be happy. Which is the reason when we have unfair expectations, then automatically sometimes it might not get fulfilled. And when it is not fulfilled, I am sad again. And then the loop again continues. So basically, when we come to spirituality, then what happens? Automatically, we change our focus from result to the process. When we focus on the result, there is uncertainty, because we never know what the result would be. Either it would be fail instead of pass, or we might even pass, but it is not up to the mark. We never know. So that is where we might not be happy. But when you focus on the process, then what happens? Automatically, we are focusing on something which is controllable. I hope, by the way, I am relatable to everyone. Is it too heavy for anyone? Is it comfortable?
Yeah.
If it's not, I can make it more easy. You should be benefited, that's why I am here. 100%.
As you prefer.
Yeah. So, main thing is, everybody has their own expectation. But at the end, even when we have our expectations, it is ultimately that those expectations will make me happy. So ultimately, whatever expectation also we have, it is there so that I can become happy. So initially a person can come that I want money, or I want fame, or I want anything. I want self-realization. He can come for anything. But the goal of all those things is what? That I can be happy. Because even when we become self-realized, that time also what happens? We actually get a sense of satisfaction that okay, I realized myself, and that is a lot of things when we do self-realization. So ultimately, the goal of life is to be happy. That is the reason everybody is struggling outside. Why should I go to work? So that I can fulfill my desires and be happy. Whatever way you do anything in life, the goal is ultimately to be happy. That is the reason we are getting up and doing all the kind of activities, irrespective of the field. So when we come to spirituality, first of all, what happens? We change the focus from the result to the process. And when we focus on the process, automatically we are focusing on what we can control. Because process is what we execute ourselves. So what we are doing ourselves can be controlled. Okay, how to do meditation, basically how much, what should be my intention. We can control our intentions. We can control our attention, how properly, attentively I am doing. We can control our actions. So in this way, when we have control on all these things, and what happens? Automatically, we will be able to have more control over it, and due to which, what happens? We are able to eventually we learn from it. For example, it had happened in my own life. For example, I wanted to do some project, and through that project, I wanted to get a better assignment in my job. So I was learning from my online course. And when I was learning from my online course, although I completed that course, but I couldn't get that project done. So I couldn't get that assignment. But still, although I couldn't get that assignment, which was my result, still what happened in that process, because I learned that new course. So what happened? I learned a new course. Then based on that, I could do 2 or 3 more projects. And because of that, after 1 year, which is currently 2-3 months before, I got a better project. So in this way, when I focus on the process, automatically what happens? I get a satisfaction. Okay, I didn't get that one, but at least I learned 2, 3, 4 or more things. They say, right? Count your blessings. So automatically what happens? When I focus on controllables, then automatically what happens? I'm able to find more satisfaction or more happiness. Although I couldn't get that, but because my focus is changed from, the from the result to process, then ultimately what happens? My baggage of expectation goes down, and ultimately because I'm focusing on the process, in the process I learn a lot of things. So even if there is failure, failure is telling me that how I should not do, and then I can focus on something better. So in that way, eventually when we focus on the process, ultimately we learn something. So in that way, eventually we get happiness. It's more a practical thing. But when we focus on spirituality, first of all, our mental baggages goes down, our wrong expectations, wrong self-identity goes down, and then what happens? We are able to focus on the process, and we are able to learn in that process. So when we learn and we become a better person every day, then automatically we get happiness.
Again, you're expecting happiness.
Obviously, we have to expect something.
But why? And then why do you want to control things?
Because by default, you want to be happy. You cannot be desireless.
Yeah, but like bringing happiness is expectation, right? Happiness should.
No, happiness is not expectation. Happiness is a state.
Yeah, but like you're expecting it.
No, not necessarily.
It should like what my thinking would be. It should be a byproduct of something.
Yeah, it's a byproduct of meditation.
Yeah, but then again, if you get it or not get it, it's not in your capacity.
Well, in that state, yeah, as I said, happiness is not a destination, it's a process. That's why I said you need to focus on the process. So, for example, when you do meditation and your mind is calm, it's not that you finally, your mind was very, how we can say, very chanchal, what we can say, very unstable, very different thoughts are coming, different distractions are coming, and all of a sudden my mind has gone quiet. No, it doesn't happen overnight. We say Rome was not built in one day. So obviously it's a gradual process, just like our muscles. Muscles won't, it's not that 11 months there was no muscle and suddenly overnight my muscle became so big. No, eventually as you do practice 2 kilos, 5 kilos, 10 kilos, and eventually your muscle grows. So in the same way it's a process. So when you do the meditation, it's not that after I do meditation successfully, then I'll be happy. It's not like that. As you do that process of meditation, it's the process of meditation which is going to give you happiness. Just like you play a video game. In a video game, you see that there are many different checkpoints or milestones. So in the same way, the happiness is one of the milestones which comes automatically as a byproduct. So that is the benefit. That is the reason many people turn to spirituality, because it's not about gaining something. Just like we in the real world, you have to work for 30 days properly. Our boss should be happy, and if he is happy, then he is going to give us salary, or then he is going to clear our probation. So that is dependent. What if he doesn't do? Then we are going to be for 29 days we are going to have a sleepless night, and 30th day if he selects, then we are happy we are going to sleep. So that is not like that. When you practice meditation, daily you progress inch by inch, and as a byproduct you get happiness. So automatically what happens? Because you are focusing on the process. Okay, so if I am going to get it automatically, because I am focusing on the process, just like you are going to gym. So as you do gym properly, automatically your muscles are going to build automatically. So in the same way, as you're going to focus on meditation and spirituality, automatically happiness and peace of mind and everything is going to come automatically. You don't need to do a separate endeavor, just like you're eating something. It's not that, okay, let me eat so that at one stage, suddenly my stomach is going to get full. No. As you eat, gradually stomach is automatically going to get full. You are going to feel that nutrition coming. So in the same way, it's a byproduct of when you do a practice of meditation. So that is the reason people like to do different kinds of meditation. So it's actually a byproduct. You are not focusing on happiness, that I want happiness, because happiness is not, you can't wait. I want 30% happiness, I want 200% happiness. Happiness is, that's why we say happiness is a state of mind. That's why everybody feels it in their own way. So that's why it comes automatically as you do. So some people do for 3 hours and they feel happy. Some people do for 20 minutes, they feel happy. So ultimately that's why it's a state. So it's not, so everybody can do in their own way and they can experience it themselves. So that is why meditation or spirituality, that is the reason it helps everybody in every phase of life.
Yeah, thanks. I have a couple of words, but it's fine. We can continue.
Thanks.
No, I was just putting one more point on there. Happiness is a process where you are in present, but you are not expecting what you are expecting. So we are going for expectation that I want to be happy. But happiness is, I think, Happiness is nothing. It's just a process where you're sitting without expecting anything
Yeah.
from anything. Like you are doing your course, you are not expecting them to be very, 100% right, but you are doing it because you want to do it. That's it. I think that I want to do.
Nice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Anybody else has any questions, or even they can also give their thoughts or expectations? Yeah, Indeed. All good. All right. So then we can continue to the next part where we see that okay. So I say that there is no expectation. So what's the point when I say that there is no expectation? So first of all, the thing comes is okay. I want to be happy. I want to have a calm mind. But before that, we need to understand one thing. We also read one same thing. What it says that there needs to be regulative principles. So as we see that if we go to a doctor and if we have a typhoid or something or some other disease, then automatically a doctor gives us do's and don'ts. He says that okay, you have this disease, so you don't eat any cold or any ice cream or don't eat any solid food, take soup and all these things, take your medications and everything. So he gives us do's, he gives us don'ts. So in the same way, when we are going to start the practice of meditation, which we just spoke, which is the goal of ours, so that we can be happy. So for that also there will be do's and don'ts, because that is important. So if for meditation and if for medication, if we want do's and don'ts, so even for meditation there are do's and don'ts. Why? Because to do any process properly, there needs to be some rules and regulations that okay, you do this, you don't do that, so that you don't go on the wrong path. So actually these rules and regulations which are given are actually there to guide us so that we don't get astray and lose the path. Otherwise we'll say okay, I tried it but it is not working. So for example, if someone is trying to lit the fire but at the same time there is a water leakage which is falling down, then if he says that this lighter is not working, as basically you just need to do the adjustments that the water doesn't fall, otherwise the fire is not going to take place. So in the same way there are do's and don'ts so that we will be able to perform any activity properly. For example, if we are going to a gym, basic thing, we are going to the gym, after going to the gym we are not supposed to eat anything heavy, otherwise going to the gym is not going to work. So in the same way there are do's and don'ts for meditation also, which helps us to maintain our process of meditation properly. And one of the main things which meditation recommends is applying discipline, or we can say consistency. So when we have consistency or discipline in our life, then automatically what happens? The effect of meditation can be felt. So you let it be meditation as I said, or let it be medication. You need discipline. If you are going to eat for 2 days the medicine and then you are going to leave, then obviously that medicine is not going to work. So in the same way, we need to do the right thing rightly. That's most important. If you are not going to do the right thing rightly, then obviously we cannot have the concerned effect, or we cannot get to that concerned state. So that is the reason there are rules and regulations just for our benefit, so that we will be able to perform that better. So clear till here everyone? So going on forward, we can see that okay, so discipline is important. So we can understand that if you want to do the right things, for example, we take New Year resolutions, we want to have a better lifestyle, and we want to create a new habit. Some people even aim to be in a 5 a.m. club. That's very famous slang. So we all want to do certain things. We want to do some certain changes in our life. But unfortunately, those changes does not happen, as we said in the beginning of our lecture. Why? Because we are not able to bring that discipline into our life. So that is the reason we are not able to. We start. We start. We are enthusiastic. But after 2 days or 1 week or 1 month, it eventually fades out. Due to which what happens? We leave it again. And then we wait for December to come, and again when January comes, we take again another pledge. When again it runs for 1 month, then it again goes down. So basically the problem is, and then what happens? Then we say maybe I'm not good enough. This is what happens basically. Then we are not able to maintain discipline, and then what happens? We think that we are not good enough. So this is how the vicious loop works. So what is the root cause that we are not able to maintain discipline? Due to which we are not able to make the changes in our life which will bring us happiness in that process. That is basically the mind. So that is the reason we are speaking about mind control. Because if you are able to bring discipline, we will be able to do changes in our life, and when we bring those changes in our life, automatically in that process we will be able to find happiness and satisfaction in our life, which is the basically goal of anybody else. So speaking about that, we'll just go through the verse, the next verse, and then we can discuss about what the verse is. Udaret atmanatmanam natmanam avasatayet atmeva hyatmano bandhur atmaeva ripuratmana. One must deliver himself with the help of his mind and not degrade himself. The mind is the friend of the conditioned soul and his enemy as well. The word Atma denotes body, mind and soul depending upon different circumstances. In the yoga system, the mind and the conditioned soul are especially important. Since the mind is a central point of yoga practice, Atma refers here to the mind. The purpose of the yoga system is to control the mind and to draw it away from attachments to sense objects. It is stressed herein that the mind must be so trained that it can deliver the conditioned soul from the mire of nescience. In the material existence, one is subjected to the influence of the mind and senses. In fact, the pure soul is entangled in the material world because the mind is involved with the false ego, which desires to lord it over the material world. Therefore, the mind should be trained so that it will not be attracted by the glitter of the material nature. And in this way, the conditioned soul may be saved. One should not degrade oneself by attraction to sense objects. The more one is attracted to sense objects, the more one becomes entangled in material existence. The best way to disentangle oneself is to always engage the mind in Krishna consciousness. The word he is used for emphasizing this point that one must do this. It is also said Mana eva manushyanam karanam bandha mokshayo bandhaya visa yasango muktyai nirvishayam mana. For man, the mind is the cause of bondage and mind is the cause of liberation. Mind absorbed in sense objects is the cause of bondage and mind detached from sense objects is the cause of liberation. Atma Amrita Bandhu Upanishad 2nd. Therefore, the mind which is always engaged in Krishna consciousness is the cause of supreme liberation. So here we see that what's the cause of our degradation as well as our liberation. It is basically the mind. So we can see that the key role which in our life which plays is basically the mind. So that is why there is a need for disciplining the mind. If you are able to discipline the mind, that it's very very evident in the morning that we want to get up early in the morning so that we will be able to do some meditation, or we can go for jogging, or we can do some book reading or anything. We can do many things if we get up early. But unfortunately, what happens? Whenever we want to get up, the mind says maybe we can sleep a little bit more. So we are not able to discipline the mind to do the right thing. That 5 a.m. means 5 a.m. we need to get up, or anything else. If we want to avoid, junk food in the night, means we have to avoid it. There is no exception. So we are not able to bring that discipline. Yes means yes, no means no. That is what we call as do's and don'ts. So when we are not able to bring this discipline, then what happens? Eventually, we are not able to follow it one day. Then 1 becomes 2, 2 becomes 4. And in that way, we lose the track. So that is the reason there is a need for disciplining the mind or controlling the mind. That is what we saw in this verse. So how to control the mind so that we can bring it under discipline? So for that, here it is said that what's the reason that mind control is important? So we can think, okay, here a lot, if we go ahead, we can say that a lot of stress is given to our mind. That we need to control our mind, we need to regulate our mind, there should be do's and don'ts. Some people feel it as restrictions, why are you saying so many rules? Some people feel it as prescriptions, okay, these instructions are good, maybe I should follow, it will be helpful for me. So basically, we can see that mind is basically a door of our consciousness. We all have consciousness or awareness. So basically, what we can say, that everybody is aware of whatever is happening around us. If someone is clapping, we automatically are aware that what happened around me. Or if someone is pinching, we are aware that what is happening with my body. So in the same way, we are aware of everything. So this awareness which is coming, this awareness is coming from our mind. So basically, the mind is basically the door of our consciousness. Through the mind, we are able to feel everything. That's why, reflex action and everything, whatever is happening through the brain or the mind, is basically, it is the door of our consciousness. We are able to perceive things because of the mind. And at the same time, this is why, this is obvious thing, even the science has proven. But the main role the mind plays is, it is also the interpreter of the whatever we perceive. For example, if someone says that, excuse me, sir, you can probably, instead of doing like this, you can do like this. Somebody can correct me. So I can take it as, oh, he has become so, so what we can say, so a big person that he has come to correct me. Or I can take it as, okay, thank you for correcting me so that I can perform better. Or I can think that, okay, so this person is very nice, so maybe he is much better than me, so maybe I should become better so that I can become a better person than him. We can have a competitive mindset, we can have a critical mindset, we can have an appreciative mindset. So just for the same input or whatever is happening with us, we can have three different perceptions for the same thing. Why? Because it depends upon our mind. What is our mindset? So that is the reason we need to be disciplining our mind so that we can have a positive mindset. So when we have a positive mindset, then automatically majority of the excuses will be able to overcome. Because if the mind says that 5 a.m. it is too cold or 5 a.m. is too early, then if you have a mindset that getting up, if I get up early, I'll be able to complete a lot of things, and by completing them, I'll feel satisfaction. And when I'm able to feel that satisfaction, I can even sleep in the afternoon or anything. I can take a power nap or something. When you have this mindset, then eventually we'll have some courage to get up and do things. So, and there are many more things how we can discipline. But the main thing is when we discipline, we are able to at least, when we have a positive mindset, we are at least able to do the right thing rightly. Till here, if anybody has any doubts?
How do you discipline mind?
Good question. That is what we are going to discuss going ahead.
Yeah.
So, we just saw that what is the need of disciplining the mind, because when we discipline the mind, we are able to do what matters, because we know what needs to be done, but we are helpless that, oh, I don't know whether I'll be able to do, and after missing for so long, then what happens? We feel bad about ourselves, and then even if someone else says that, my dear sir, maybe you should go for a gym, my dear sir, maybe you should have a good diet, then you're like, I tried it but I'm not able to do it. Basically that mindset has gone within us that I cannot do it. So then even if someone wants to help us, our mindset is so set that we are not able to change ourselves, and when we are not able to change ourselves, then obviously we are not able to meet our goals, and again that loop continues. So that is the reason what happens, we need to discipline our mind. And how to discipline that mind? We need to change the mindset. So to discipline the mind, we need to change our mindset. And how do we change the mindset? We saw in Bhagavad Gita 3rd chapter that there are 3 different modes of nature. One is mode of goodness, one is mode of passion, and one is mode of ignorance. There are 3 modes. So when we are in a mode of ignorance, we'll be lazy. Like, okay, I don't want to do anything. If someone is correcting me, I'll become angry that how dare he correct me. And when it is in the mode of passion, I want to do everything. I want to study, I want to cook, I want to go to the gym, I want to play cricket, I want to take part in a hackathon, I want to do everything in one day. So that becomes too much tedious and we get burnt out, which we typically say. And finally comes the mode of goodness. And in the mode of goodness, what happens? We plan. Before executing, we say, right, think before you do. So basically we plan beforehand how much time I have, will I be able to do it, and what is the need of doing it. There should be some purpose. So when we know the benefit of doing it, we will feel some enthusiasm. So automatically we'll be able to come to that mode. So first of all, we need to be clear that we need to come to the mode of goodness. And how to do that? For that, meditation is going to help. That is the reason. If you are able to do meditation, which is going to help us create a positive mindset, due to which what happens? We are able to create discipline, due to which we are able to meet our goals. Then what happens? We feel good about ourselves. And when we feel good about ourselves, automatically enthusiasm comes. That yes, I can do it. So when we feel good about ourselves, automatically what happens? We feel satisfaction. So that is the reason we see that many people take up the meditation and spirituality. Why? Because it helps themselves unleash their potential. So that is the reason we actually do meditation. So by doing meditation, what happens? We are able to change our mindset to positivity. We say positivity. So what happens when we become positive? We are able to at least try. Because when the mind says you cannot do it, we actually think of trying it. And how do we do meditation basically? There are many types of meditation, and the most common which we follow is basically mantra meditation. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. So this is one kind of meditation which call it as mantra meditation. So when we do mantra, if we see what is the meaning of the word mantra, man means our mind and tra means to liberate. So by doing mantra meditation, we are basically liberating our mind from the lower desires or the lower mindsets. So automatically when our mind is liberated from lower
self-defeating mindsets, self-destructive mindsets to a more positive mindset, then automatically what happens? Even that experience of getting relieved of a self-destructive mindset is itself going to give you satisfaction. So that there is no expectation here. In the process of doing this mantra meditation, we get relieved of our self-destructive mindset. I can't do it. Maybe I'm not good enough. There is no hope, and etc. It goes on. So automatically, when we do mantra meditation, it first relieves us from these self-defeating and what we can say our binding thoughts, so that we are able to at least open our mind and think something better. So now our mind is open. Okay, now we'll be having an idea. Okay, what I need to do, what will be beneficial for me, what effort I need to do. So once this is clear, what we can do, then we'll be able to put sufficient efforts. So because now we are having a very positive and enthusiastic mindset, what we can do, we can try to endeavor for it. And this was the first part, mantra. By mantra meditation, we can get rid of the negative. But we also need positive, obviously, right? If the tire is punctured, we can correct it so the negative is gone. But we also need fuel so that the car goes. And what is that fuel? That fuel is basically like-minded association or devotee association. So that is the reason people come to centers or temples or like-minded people. So that when we see that, oh, this person is doing, this person is doing, this person is doing, automatically I also feel that maybe I should also do. So we can see, even science says that if you have a gym buddy, the chances of going to gym increases by 60%. So automatically we know that the power of two is very, very helpful. So that is the reason what we need to do. First of all, we need to do mantra meditation or meditation spirituality, so that you get rid of the negative, which is the main reason that you are not trying anything new or able to even see what is good for you. And when you are rid of negative, then you start to look out for positive. Okay, fine, I want to change myself, I want to become better. Then I will first try to understand what I need to do, and at the same time I will try to find people who are already doing it, because when I know people who are doing it, they might be able to give me help and assistance and guidance. So that is the reason. Even take an example, an entrepreneur, he goes to the fair which goes on. So where the entrepreneurs, I forgot the name. Here in Ireland, they give some name for that fair where they give funding. So basically, they go to places where entrepreneurs are there. Where doctors are there, they go to the places where doctors, assemble. A Royal Chamber of Chemists, which is there in Sandiford. And where cricketers are there or some athletes are there, they go to the place where all the athletes go for practice. So when we can see that boxers, lawyers, surgeons, everybody come together where their community people are there. So in the same way, even for spirituality and meditation, we have to come to the place where people are already doing that in practice. That is the reason we have centers, so that we can come together and try to understand how to do our day-to-day life and meditation on all those kinds of things. So we get a positive mindset by meditation, by reading wisdom books, as well as talking to people. I might have some experience, you might have some experience, he might have some experience. So everybody can share their experience, and through those experience, it's better to learn from others' experience itself, because our life is not long enough that we can experience everything in our life. So that's why it's good that we learn from hearing. If I hear from the other person, like I'm saying, we all are discussing, so in that way what happens? We all share our experience, and from that I will get some, we say that click moment, that okay, this is the answer which I was looking for. So in that way what happens, you are able to connect the dots, and I can have some takeaway, I can implement it, and probably next week when I come, I have some improvements as well and some new doubts as well. And basically when these doubts gets cleared in that, maybe it can get clear or it can take some more time. But then what happens, I get one more realization, then I again progress, and then I get some other new dots. So it's just like a game of leveling up. So in that way we are able to get the right mindset, and that way we are able to come to a point of discipline. So this is generally the way. We can go more deeper, but before that, is there any doubts still here?
I do.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Sorry, I'm being like a fool, I think. Sorry.
No, it's open platform.
Yeah, nice. So you said, right? Okay, I'll get up in the morning, I'll do these things. That's second stage, I think. That's one part of what you think. But going back, like taking a step back, right? That's byproduct, I say. So getting up and thinking about getting up is the second step. But the point is, you said you control things using meditation. I disagree on it a bit in a terms of being like you have thousands of thoughts, and I agree. You said like karma kar karma cha phala piksha means you do your karma, you don't expect the fruit, and that's the state what he said happening. So I agree in that first part. Now second part is you have thoughts, right? You have thousands of thoughts, and the speed of it is so vast that like our thoughts are so what do you say, fragile and so we call it more than the speed of wind, which is said in Sanskrit, right? So it's a Marathi and Sanskrit translation. So the point is, if it goes so fast, if it's around you so much, you can't tame it. That's the thing, right? So now you're saying you be disciplined. So how would you discipline your thoughts, first of all? But then there is a saying again which says, if your thoughts are moving around, you are unbalanced. If your thoughts are moving at a speed you want, you are sane. But if your thoughts stop, you are not a person, you are dead.
Yeah.
Because then only your thoughts could stop. So the point is, the thoughts govern your conditions. So you're gonna get up at 5 or get up at 4 or 5 AM club, I don't know, whatever you're gonna do. For that you need to know your thoughts. For that, I think you can't control your thoughts. Like, and then I don't think there is a certain way to control your thoughts, because each person is a different case. Because you grow in different upbringings, right? So you have so many thoughts. So there is no certain way of taming it, and I also disagree of taming it. So the point is, there is something called as Atma, you say, and Ekagra. Ekagra is like bringing oneness to it. So the point is, you can bring oneness on one thought. That's what I believe, I think. But then, if you're gonna bring it to that certain point, how are you gonna do it? Because if you're meditating, as you say, mantra, then in my mind, I don't know, I'm just running around now in my thoughts. But the point is, if you say like Hare Krishna, Hare Ram, right? And then it's just like I don't disagree, but it's just like making you concentrate on that mantra. Whereas you have so many thoughts. So now what's gonna happen? Where is my thought? This mantra got me to do ekagra, which is bringing my calmness, bringing my saneness to one thought. But what about my thoughts I have? And how do I bring them together? Which one I think? And then how would I bifurcate the 5 AM club one? And suppose if I do it, then the practice which you said, you do it, and you eventually perfect it, right? That goes on. But this has an underlying sense to it. So it's just my question. It's just what I thought when you were saying those many things.
So basically, there will be millions of thoughts, that's true. For example, if I have an exam tomorrow, there will still be thoughts. But would you mind to tame your mind or bring your mind to focus on your studies irrespective of those thoughts, or would you let the thoughts go on?
Depends like what you would do, like what condition you are in, right? So I would say if we eventually force ourselves to bring it during the exam, but like when you're writing an exam, a song is playing subconsciously in your mind. You don't know it.
Yeah.
You don't know it. Like it's playing in your mind. But you don't, at that moment of time, you're like, I need to get my shit together, right? So you're like, let's do this.
Yeah.
But it's still going on.
Yeah.
The point is, like, it is there. You don't observe it. My point is, when you try meditating, you observe it, right? Okay, I do it, I follow it, and all of this. But my only other point is, at that time, you can't be like, I'm gonna chant something and bring my mind together. It takes like eventually a lot of things, but then the original thing I had it in mind is like it's gone. Like the thought of writing exam is like where I wanted to bring it, it's not there. So I have peace, but now I don't have not peace. I don't have the ekagraha where I need the ekagraha in.
The last part, what you said about what you lost.
So what the content, what I want of my thought is not what I want it to be. So that's what I'm thinking.
But maybe, as he mentioned, maybe you focus more on result than your process part. And that's
Basically,
why when you are in exam, you lose interest in it, and somewhere other thoughts are playing in the background, and you are lost.
Yeah. So then again, the meditation comes. You try to bring it to the ekagraha, right?
Yeah.
When you go back, you try to bring it. You go back to try to bring it.
So basically, obviously, everybody is an individual. Everybody has their likes and dislikes. Everybody has their purpose in life, right? So when you have your purpose, obviously there would be some goals which you will be setting, because without any purpose and without any goals, there is no point. Everybody has to have it. So when you have those goals and purposes, there would be Sorry?
Not everybody has a purpose.
Then that is a problem.
Yeah, that's the problem. Yeah. But like you said, like everybody has to have it. Like,
Because that is
yeah,
the driving
everybody
force. That's the driving force. Because we can see that no person can be idle. We can see that a person, for example, even when I'm sitting and doing nothing, still I'm breathing. And even when I'm sleeping, still I'm breathing and doing something. So basically, we can never be idle. Yes.
Just a contrary thought on this. Why we need a purpose in life? Like
Yeah,
my
yeah.
question is like we are again. I'm very much in favor of God and I believe from the God. But we were sent from the God. We are here to pass our lives and think about Him and to get into the next generation or next birth, right? So do we need a purpose for that? No. I think we are here to just. We made it very complex in my thought process. We made it very complex because we have increased our needs, our lifestyles. Oh, I need this. If we content and be content in the what we want, air, food, water, and some clothes, and then that is the purpose of life, at least from my point of view. Because we are in such a world, we have so many threats attached, and we are running behind everything. Oh, I need Versace, I need blah blah thing. But if I see my grandparents, just giving an example, they are the most happiest person I have seen because they didn't have an internet. They were having just fields going into going back, coming back. They were that discipline that you were showing. Nobody taught them that discipline. They're still waking up at 4 a.m. doing their course, having a nap under a tree. That was more happiness to me. Like if I see where I am and where were they. So it's like because my need have surpassed that. And who gave that thought? My parents.
Yeah.
And who gave that thought? To their parents. So if I got birth, if I confine myself from all this thing, will there be a purpose? Because it's fed into the mind that we need a purpose, we are doing this. That's my perspective, okay? And no.
Even being contented is a purpose of life. I want to be content in life. I need to have a bare minimums of life. Even saying that okay, my grandparents had this, so that was very happy. Even that is also a goal and purpose of life. Yeah, that was happy, that was correct. So one way, even that is a purpose.
Yes, but nobody knows what goal is. Not what
Exactly.
purpose is.
So for that is the reason. If just like we refer to our mother to get culture, we refer to our father for adventure, we refer to our teacher for knowledge. In the same way, for purpose of life, we refer to scriptures. So when we go through the scriptures, we understand what is actually the purpose of life. If we say, I came from God, why did God make me? So there should be some purpose. Why did He just make me and throw me like a paper? It's not possible. So there should be some reason. So that is the reason we have scriptures through which we can study ourselves and we can ask questions and discuss and all those things. So through that we understand that actually the main purpose of our life is basically going back to Godhead. So that is basically the purpose of life. Why it will be a very long discussion, but that is actually the purpose of life. So in that way we can understand. So just like we get knowledge from authorities, same way we can get the purpose of ourselves as the soul from spiritual scriptures, which is basically like
As a soul, I agree that we have to go. But as a person or as my mind says, whatever is in there, like I'm talking to you, some energy is talking to me. But do I remember after my death? Like there is nothing.
Yeah.
Like so, how assured I am that I'm going to be taking a rebirth and going to the Godhead? Like there is no double quotes in between. Like okay, you are going in a right path. You can try. Like we are trying here just to go in the right direction, as you mentioned. But I don't think so. Once we are done, nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah. So for that, just like a scientist, scientist does not know in the beginning that his experiment is going to be successful. He doesn't know that my expedition in space is going to lead me to a new universe. But still, he tries, he sees the needs, he follows the standard and recommended process, and he refers to his authorities and seniors for any new experiments, and then finally he gets somewhere and finally discovers something new. So in the same way, a spiritual process is not like, okay, I take the book, I blindly follow, I do it with a hope that when death comes and I close my eyes, hopefully I will open my eyes probably in the kingdom of God. No, that's not how spirituality works.
Again, not conflicting thoughts, but
Yeah.
scientists will see his research. Like he's doing a formula. He's there to see the results.
Yeah.
But my point was like we are not there to see the results. Like once we are gone, we are not there to see the results. Like scientist is fine, like he will do his putting HCl into NaCl, making NaCl, like that's fine.
Yeah.
But
So, like you are saying that you have faith that God is there and all those things. So, where did that faith come from?
because I have been teaching like that, like some people like in my life, like if I say my parents, oh Hare Krishna, like, and I have very much faith. I do believe that there is some energy out there which is connecting to us and which is listening to us, maybe guiding to us in a very dark path. Basically, I'm with you on that. But the point is like which I am making on the
Yeah, that I understand. So, why is that guidance to you and not for someone else? And why were you born in that family and not in some other family?
Yeah, that's my. If I
That's
would
probability.
Huh? No, that's not a probability. That's not.
That's a probability.
There are millions of people born in a city in a given day, and in a given day there are many countries. Many people are born in the same country, and in a given city, millions, thousands of children are born. In a given hospital, in a given time, many children are born. Why is that one child is born to a millionaire, one child is born to a poor person, one is sick, one is thin, one is interested in maths, one is interested in athletics? What's the deciding factor? There should be something.
It's all because of karma profile,
Yeah.
which a soul is carries from his last birth and accordingly is getting into particular set of family and
But that kid knows that he had done his
Karma in previous or something.
No.
Something you said that crossed my mind, right? You said right something that you don't know purpose and people don't need to know the purpose. Something like you said you believe in the energy that you don't even know. But and what he said now as well, it just clicked me, right? And then you just said, why do you have certain people that cross in your life and not why the whole population? Why certain people only cross your life? So what if you don't know what your purpose is, but something beyond you is doing your purpose on behalf of you, and you don't know that what your purpose is. So when you come here, you are doing the purpose, but you don't know what the purpose
That's
is.
what my point was. Like,
Sorry, it was
yeah.
like
No, this is a good point. I think he made a good point. But again, coming back to you, I think you're
So-
the right person.
So basically, we might not know our karma, as you said, but just like I can get COVID, just like I also had COVID when the wave came. But if I go on searching that which person came in contact with me that I got COVID, I'm going to catch him. But that is not the answer to the solution. Now I have COVID, so I need to first of all, take shelter and not come out. What we say for that? Quarantine, and so that, and first of all, I need to cure myself. That is the solution. So in the same way, as we all know, what goes around comes around. So basically, there was something which has caused me that I'm suffering. For example, someone might be smoking, and it might not be that I smoke today, tomorrow I have cough, then the next day I'm having tightness in chest, next day I get cancer, and the next day I die. No, it takes time to fructify. In the same way, you plant a seed, it takes time to become a sapling, a tree, and then finally become a fruit. So in the same way, for example, I have my iPhone, okay? So, for example, okay, think this is your phone and I have a simple phone. So, if I come and break your phone, okay, I was very envious that, okay, you got a new phone. Then you become obviously very upset. And I say, okay, I broke your phone, take this phone, you also break it. I break your phone, you break my phone. Your phone is 5,200 euros, my phone is probably 150 euros. So, would you be happy with that?
Like again, if I go with my same mind, I'll say like go away. Like you broke it, that's fine because your karma. Again, that will comes to my mind again.
Yes.
Because I have been processed like that. Oh, there is a karma associated with. So you broke me because it was written in my destiny, and I could have walked away. Else, I could have broke your phone as well and said like, this is your karma. So doing that thing is not in my hand at that particular time. I think that is in my hand. Like I'm doing it, but I'm not doing it. Basically, what I'm trying to say is that energy is trying to do it.
So ultimately that is how it works. So ultimately what happens, even if basically I break your phone, which is costly, and then if I say that my 100 euros phone, if you want, you break it. But basically even if you break my phone, but still what happens, the pain which you got of losing 1,200 new phone and the pain I get of losing a 100 euro phone is not actually the same. So you got probably more pain, or anybody else got very much upset of losing their phone, but I might not feel that pain when they break my cheap phone. So but for that purpose, the law of karma is there. So we can escape the laws of the state, but we cannot escape the laws of karmas. Why? Because the purpose behind law of karma is transformation and it is not punishment. That is the reason breaking your expensive phone is not equal to breaking my cheap phone. Because ultimately, what happens? For that karma to come back, what will happen? First of all, I need to get attached to iPhone. Oh, this phone is very good, good resolution of photos and all. Then I need to have a good salary, then I need to have a good saving, then a good new phone model will come, then I will buy it, then some friend will come in disguise, in a mode of enviousness, and then he will break my phone. And then that pain which I get, that will be the payment of the pain which I gave you. And then what will happen? I will realize that okay, I should not do it again. So this is the purpose of law of karma. Just like a mother or a parent might beat you. Why he will beat? Not that you should cry. So that you don't repeat that mistake which will again put you into trouble. So in the same way, law of karma is there for transforming you. And that is the reason it might take some time. So that it fructifies. Just like a seed. So in the same way, just why we took the point of karma? Because based on your interest and based on your actions, what happened? Eventually, you develop the consciousness of believing in karma and believing in God, due to which, as Krishna says, Neha Bikramina Asostil, Bhagavad Gita 240, chapter number 6, we will see. So that, as Krishna says, He preserves what you have and provides what you lack. And that is the reason, because you continued this process in your previous life, it gets continued in this life. And the same goes for everybody. Because basically, as you said, that we cannot control anybody. So obviously, God also doesn't control anybody's free will. Okay, you want to know me? Okay, take it. Even if death comes, He provides those circumstances. Why some people come in our life? Because it is basically part of destiny, so that you continue in your journey which you had as a process. That is the reason we need a purpose. So when we have a purpose, we will do things required for that, and so that what will happen, even if the mind is roaming around everywhere, because we have a purpose, we will be at least be able to focus on it. And when we say focus, does not mean we are going to negate all the other thoughts, which is not possible, but we are going to give more emphasis to this thought. And in this way, what happens? The same we do if you want to have a goal in our life. If you have a saving goal, so that we can buy a new house, there can be many thoughts. Oh, I want to go to Switzerland. Oh, I want to buy a new car. But we focus. Okay, fine, but we can do everything. But first of all, we need to focus on this. So in the same way, we entertain other thoughts, but we emphasize on our purpose. That is the reason we need a purpose. And when we have this purpose, eventually when we have a spiritual purpose, it gets carried away in our next life as well. And that is how basically destiny and karma works. Yeah. Thank you for the discussion. So I would love to continue, but unfortunately it's time for Kirtan. And here our Kirtan is here. So we'll continue again in our next Friday session. Until then, we take care. Hare Krishna.
So we would like to thank Girdhar Prabhu because of the some reason Manu Prabhu, who always takes the Bhagavad Gita session, he was not available. So he voluntarily took the opportunity to do the Bhagavad Gita class. So we would like to chant 3 times Hari Bol for Girdhar Prabhu. Hari Bol! Hari Bol! So we'll go with the next part. I missed the lecture, but in the ending it was discussing about all karma and everything. So now we can there is one process which is written in Bhagavad Gita in scriptures, that by chanting the holy name we can nullify all our bad karmas, and we can increase our more good karmas and please the Lordship. So our second part is Kirtan, so we'll continue that now. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. So, who knows that how the Hare Krishna Mahamantra was introduced again back in Kali Yuga? Does anybody knows over here? So we can see this five personality over here. So in between there is Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, who came back 500 years ago in West Bengal. So there he started the movement Hare Krishna, basically introduced the Hare Krishna mantra all over the world and in the parampara. So we are very eternally grateful to Mahaprabhu, who is also known as to be avatar of Krishna, basically. So he was an avatar in the form of devotee who preached the message of Krishna, who preached the message of God to everywhere in the world. So I'd like to start the prayers by glorifying him. And the process was again introduced by Srila Prabhupada in the West, who is the founder Acharya of ISKCON. So first of all, I will try to pray and ask for the blessings. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namah Vishnu Padaya Krishna Krishnaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Saraswati Devi Garavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine Namaste Saraswati Devi Garavani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashata Deshatarine Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Bhaktavrinda Jaya Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaura Now the part which will come. So I know that you everyone didn't know this mantra which I sing, but the next mantra which we are going to sing, that is Hare Krishna Mahamantra. So I want everyone to join me so that we can pray to Lord and we can progress in our life by taking the blessings. Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare
Hare
Hare Ram, Hare Ram, Ram Ram, Hare Hare. important name because there is a newborn happened, born in our family to a devotee, Anmol Prabhu. So she got like in the evening she was born. So for her we pray today that she also become a good devotee of Lord. So by chanting together we pray that she become a very wonderful devotee of Lord and serve to Lord for his life, for her life. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare, Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Krishna, Hare Rama, Krishna Krishna Hare 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 Rama Hare Rama Hare Rama like.
This book.
Namaste Narasimhaya. शिरोमणि महाराज की और अपने प्रणाम।
Krishna, thank you so much everyone for joining today. Today we are finishing up early because of storm and we didn't plan properly today.